any female entrepreneur is going to tell you the same thing. It's almost like a redundant storyline, but it's the truth. It's like, it's very, very difficult to be taken seriously. And so I've had to find myself like, I'm very, very rough around the edges. And I have to be, you know, if I'm not, I'm dealing with a literal situation right now where I'm just coming back from Mexico, met somebody in Mexico who manages a couple of artists, and I just was not giving him the attention that he wanted. Next thing I know, I get an unfollow, and I actually have money for him as we speak in Dallas. And now he's not answering the messages, and I'm like, you're gonna let your artist not eat because you want to be fun, you know what I mean? So that's like a very typical storyline that as women we see, especially in the entertainment industry, and you just have to like work through it.
What up, world? Thank you for tuning to another episode of the Cosign Conversations podcast. We are here in Houston. As you can see, we're not at Cosign Loft. I don't have the Nipsey painting behind me. But, you know, I'm starting to like Houston. Before I introduce you, I've been telling a lot of people, man, every time I used to come to Houston, like, bad things would happen to me. So they were like, man, when you going to give Houston another shot? So I'm here.
You're here now.
Giving Houston another shot. But we do have... are you a Dallas native, or you just say...
So I'm actually originally from Austin.
Okay.
But I moved to Houston in 2004.
Okay.
I spent 2 years in Dallas and came back.
Okay.
Dallas just was not for me. Had to come back to my city, man. Had to come back to the H.
Okay.
I'm a Houston girl.
In the city, but we are here with YaYa in the city on the Cosign Conversations podcast. A lot of new things we to talk about, a lot of new business ventures. As you can see, it's branded right now.
I'm crazy.
Look, so let's start there, and then we'll kind of go to this whole Dallas and Houston thing. All right.
Cool.
Your new venture, Marca Única. What made you want to launch this? And you do everything. What, publishing, label, agency?
I do everything. I think I just saw the explosion that was happening with Música Mexicana. And as much as I wanted to like deny it, I was working in rap at the time. I was actually working with Def Jam at the time. And I just kind of like saw the growth with Música Mexicana, and I knew that it was going to explode the same way that reggaeton had exploded.
Right.
And I was like, I just loved it so much. And I was like, I just wanted to be tapped in with it, and started kind of finding my way and working with local groups. And then it just kind of exploded from there. You
know, we've been doing music so much. It's crazy. Well, I mean, of course you do, but like, I guess you're probably in a position to where you see how to monetize music. I feel like a lot of artists, labels, executives don't really know how to monetize music, so it's more like a hobby for them than actually business. So like, how have you been able to like operate as a business in the music industry
and to actually like function and make money?
Yes, for sure.
So obviously it's like I still have artists who are still growing, and I think in that I was always just doing things for major labels or major artists, and so I was like, I can't do this shit for free anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I have to charge, and that's when I was like, if I want to charge for what I know and my years of experience, then I need to establish myself as a legitimate business.
Gotcha.
So that's when I started the agency side of things. I have a publishing as well. We're, registered over with BMI.
Dope.
So it's like just, things like that. If I wasn't going to make money with the music, I was investing in these artists. And I'm just barely now starting to see a turnaround. Like, I'm starting to see a profit. But that was kind of like how I realized, okay, I have to turn this into an agency.
Gotcha.
And now I'm working with the majors, and
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So
yeah.
Dallas 2 years. I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Do you feel like Dallas has a legitimate music industry? What I mean by that, before people start cussing me out, is yes, we have talent, but there's no structure. So were you able to like make money in music in Dallas at all?
So when I was living in Dallas, I was doing like special events and stuff. But I was working, that's when I was, working with Def Jam. So what I was doing wasn't inside of the city.
Yeah, so it really didn't even matter.
Yeah, so I really can't like answer that question properly because I just wasn't like working inside of the city with music like that at all. Yeah.
Well, then why Dallas isn't for you then?
I think I just wanted to be home. Like, I just love Houston. Like, I love what Houston represents. I love the hustle. I love the bustle here, the entrepreneurship here. It was really important for me to just be back home. Yeah.
Let's talk about that because we're emerging out here and we're looking to like tap in with the entrepreneur scene in Houston. So for somebody like us who's coming to Houston, like what does that look like here? Because I've asked a couple people and they'll say like it's growing.
Yeah.
But like I'm still trying to figure like what that means. Like how do you navigate Houston? Not if you're trying to do music, but if you're really trying to be tapped in, people who's owning businesses, providing value, making an impact. Like what does that look like?
I think at the end of the day, it's like you just for me myself, like I've just learned to do good business all around, whether that person works in like transportation or hospitality or whatever, oil and gas. Like at the end of the day, it's just being a good person,
Right.
and and affiliating yourself obviously with like people who are doing good business as well. You know what I mean? Because you could be at the top of the food chain and whatever the industry, and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
No, I've seen it.
yeah. You've seen it. So
Have you? What challenge have you faced so far launching? A new agency, label, publishing company. I mean, you have the experience working with the majors and everything, but I'm pretty sure starting over and specifically, what I'm saying, in a specific demographic that's still growing. Have you been faced any challenges and adversity, and how you getting over them?
Yeah, for sure. I think any female entrepreneur is going to tell you the same thing. It's almost like a redundant storyline, but it's the truth. It's like it's very, very difficult to be taken seriously. And so I've had to find myself like I'm very, very rough around the edges, and I have to be. If I'm not, I'm dealing with a literal situation right now where I'm just coming back from Mexico. Met somebody in Mexico who manages a couple of artists, and I just was not giving him the attention that he wanted. Next thing I know, I get an unfollow, and I actually have money for him as we speak in Dallas. And now he's not answering the messages, and I'm like, you're gonna let your artist not eat because you want to be fun. You know what I mean? So that's like a very typical storyline that as women we see, especially in the entertainment industry, and you just have to like work through it. You know what I mean?
I hate that. I really hate that for y'all because as a man, I'm not gonna lie, I prefer working with women because I feel like women are more organized, strategic. They have less egos.
Yeah.
They look at the bigger picture. Like for men, sometimes another man can have a better idea, but because of your ego, you might not want to, pursue it or let him know. But like women will put like their personal stuff to the side to make sure like it's the best project or the best company or something. So I have no idea why men try to mess it up because they are attracted to another. They're attracted or they want to.
Because they're just trying to smash real quick.
I mean, that's this. I've seen it in this industry.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I hate it though, because I'm like, wouldn't you rather like make exponential money together and like, you know what I'm saying? It sucks, But I mean, that's just part of the game, and you just got to deal with it.
How do you finesse it? Are you more like straightforward, like, nah, I'm not into you. I don't want to do this. Do you want to handle business, or are you more so like you'll try to like beat around to like laugh it off and then get back to business?
It depends on the party or the other opposing party, or it depends on the situation. You know what I mean? And that's not to say like there's never any like entanglements. That's not to say that because that's human nature. Okay, so let's be 1,000 about that.
For sure.
But the reality is like 9.9 times out of 10, I don't want to fuck with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like I think it just depends on the person, and of course you try to laugh it off in the beginning, and then sometimes it gets a little too intense. This past situation in Mexico, and this is very Mexican men who are like at the top of the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's almost like a power struggle, and it gets very difficult. But I think just kind of like laughing it off, and then once they see like what you're capable of or what you've done in the past, or who you've worked with or who you are working with, then it's like, oh shit, like maybe I should do business instead of trying to smash. You know what I'm saying? So
trying to get a little touch.
Trying to get a little touch. Yeah.
But what made you specifically pick Mexican music instead of like reggaeton? Because reggaeton, I guess right now it's trendy, so it's like I want to say I think it's number one. Like listen to music.
I think it's actually now Música Mexicana.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's Música Mexicana now.
Oh wow.
So actually, like for the first time ever in history, they're actually on the Billboard charts. I forgot what the position is, but I just looked this morning, and it's rising on the actual Billboard Hot 100 two Mexican artists, and this is a reggaeton song, Young Lucas and Peso Pluma. This is like the first time in history two Mexican artists have the top reggaeton song in history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's actually like the genre is just like, it's going left. I mean, it's just kind of like what happened with hip hop like in the 80s and 90s, where it's like, it's just going all kinds of ways. It's just a redefining genre right now.
Got you. So it's basically, it is tapping global markets and not sectionalized to, to our territory.
Yeah, it's definitely very globalized right now at this point. I mean, it's huge right now. Yeah.
Right. So what's your overall vision for the company?
I definitely want to sign more talent. I have two artists who are under me now. We're probably by the end of the year, I'd like to have at least 5.
Okay.
But obviously that comes with like structure and like, I don't want to be one of those janky labels who has like 100 artists signed and like you're only moving 5 of those 100 artists. That doesn't make sense to me. But I also am working with other major labels whose artists are sitting at the top of charts right now. Dell Records in particular, I just partnered with them for South by.
Okay.
Eslabon Armado, they're on the Billboard charts right now. We did the South by show together. And to be like affiliated with labels like that and have these labels come to me whose artists are like, they have a song out right now. I just looked. It's like on Spotify. The song hasn't even been out for a month. It has over 85 million streams just on Spotify.
Dang.
That's just on Spotify.
That's not counting.
Yeah, they're Apple. Like, they were top 5 trending on YouTube on a lyric video. The actual video comes out today. I guarantee it's going to be the #1 video on YouTube.
Dang.
So to like have labels like that, like trust me to work with them and like get things done. And, that in itself like means a lot to me. And it motivates me to like really, learn from them and, get my shit popping too.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
What have you learned from like your time at Def Jam that you've been able to implement within your own organization?
So with them, I was doing a lot of like street promo. So I was organizing street campaigns for them for South by South. That was actually my first job with them. Okay. Was organizing street teams. So I learned a lot about like promoting and, how, activations and things like that. That's what I learned with them. So now I've been able to like implement what I've learned with them with all these other labels that I'm working with now, as well as my own,
Got you. Man, I always hear artists on my way, they want to be signed. But like, for you specifically, what do you look for when signing talent? Like, what do they have to have? I'm pretty sure it's, of course, good music, but outside of good music, like, what makes them like somebody that you want to co-sign and bring them under you?
Artists who are coachable, because it's you can be like super, super good. Like I see it all the time, artists who really, really have amazing talent and they have what it takes, whether it's the music or the stage presence or like, but you can't fucking work with them. and if this label can't work with you and I can't, like at some point it's like you got to realize like you can't move on your own. Like you have to have a team, and if your team can't work with you, then you can be fucking Tupac. Yeah. You can be the next Biggie, like, and it doesn't matter because nobody can work with you.
Gotcha. Rick Ross says this, and I love Rick Ross.
Yeah.
I think it's more so just I don't say facade. Let me just ask the question. Do you think somebody can be successful and be self-made? Or do you think, better yet, do you think people can be self-made?
I do believe people can be self-made. Yes, I absolutely do. But when it comes to like, when you get to that level of, okay, let's say in music, now you're really a superstar. Somebody took you to that level of being a superstar. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to have a team who's like working your PR, or a team you have to have a manager who's, running your dates or whatever. So it's like at the end of the day, yeah, like I believe in being self-made and making it to the top on your own. But at the end of the day, you have to have a team to survive, I see both sides of it.
That's
for
why.
Sure.
But that's why I say I don't believe anybody is self-made.
Yeah.
Even as much, even like me when I first started, I did everything on my own. But you could do everything, but it still takes somebody to be like, hey, this is really dope. You need to check this out. So like it could be like a coach. It could be somebody giving you somebody's CD or a DJ playing their music. Like all that adds up.
Yeah. I think when it comes down to the 100% truth and reality, I think you're right in that sense for sure.
Right. But now I see both ways too, because there are some people who's like, man, they produce, they record their own vocals, they write their own music, and it's like, dang, they do everything.
Yeah.
but it still takes somebody to move the needle to
Yeah.
get to that next phase.
Who's
So.
somebody that I think like Brent Fayez? I think he does all his own shit.
Brent Fires. I know Russ
Yeah.
did too. I
Yeah.
think he even made the beat sometimes.
Yeah, but
too.
you got to have the person to move the shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So I mean, it all adds up though. But that's like an interesting question because it's like one of those to where there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Like another no right or wrong answer is: would you rather have love or loyalty?
Yeah. Damn it, are you asking me this?
I'm asking you now.
Damn, I just seen something about this the other day.
Little Baby said it too.
Little Baby.
Yeah, Lil
I'd
Baby.
rather loyalty because you can still love me and fuck me. What did he say?
Yeah,
It's actually really good quote.
That's like what he said. He was like, I'd rather have loyalty because you can still love me and do harm to me or screw me over. And I agree 100%.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%.
Yeah, because even like you think of family and friends, your family, they love you. Like they're created and born to love you, but they still...
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It will screw you over sometimes. But for somebody who's loyal, like it's not going to cross their mind if they're loyal. Like they're loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
Like they're loyal to the point to where like they may miss an opportunity or screw themselves over because it's so loyal.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'd rather take that. And then you get the side effects where like women are like, nah, you need love. I'm like, I'd rather have a loyal person.
Yeah, and then there's that saying, like, what's it? Love is a temporary emotion. I completely 1,000% that, like, you can really love somebody, but I still feel like it's a temporary emotion, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You go through waves with love. Sometimes you hate them, sometimes you know, so it's like...
That's why they say you falling in love, in and out of love.
Yeah.
That's just not, it doesn't last, you know? There's times where, like, you may love a person, but may not be in love with them.
Right, I agree.
You know, so it all varies. Does that apply to music, though? Like, is there other times for you to where it's like, you're in it, but maybe you have felt out of love?
1,000%.
With the business or the music?
Both, 1,000%.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Maybe not so much with the music. Like I think the best way to describe like why, I'm in it, like music has always been like an escape for me. Always. There was a time like growing up where we had like 7, 8 people living in a 2-bedroom apartment, and I didn't have my own bed or. I literally did not have my own bed till I was 18 years old. So for me, I remember I would take all my covers and my pillow and I would go put them in a bathtub and I would listen to music in the bathroom because that was like my escape. Right. So I think for me, music is like, I really love music and like, I remember where it takes me to. It's like an escape method for me. And so I feel like you have to like really, really, really love the music part of it to deal with the business side of it. Like, at least for me. Of course, there are other people who like, it's a get rich scheme for them. And like, for me, it's like, at the end of the day, like, I love this shit so much. Like, shit, all the L's I done took in this shit, like, you know, I really should have fallen out of love with it a long time ago, but I can't. Like, it's like it's like a love affair. It's like a toxic relationship.
Nah, for sure.
You know, it's a toxic relationship.
Yeah, you keep coming back for more.
Yeah, you keep coming back for more, but those W's they feel so good, and, you know, it's like that those L's end up being worth it. You know what I mean?
Nah, I feel you. I feel the same. Like, I didn't take a lot of L's in this game.
Yeah.
It's like, it's worth it, though.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather take L's doing this than L's doing something else because the L's are inevitable.
Yeah.
They're going to come.
And those financial L's, ooh, they hurt. The financial L's hurt the worst. You know, I can deal with the like betrayal and the like, but the financial L's hurt. But then when it's like you start seeing progress and you actually start seeing money coming in, it's like then it's like whew, you can breathe a little bit. You know?
Yeah. You know what? I don't mind. They hurt. I don't mind taking financial L's. What I mind the most though is like the financial L's like based off of scams. Like if I've been scammed,
it's the worst.
That's the worst because it's like,
and especially when you have like when you have good intentions and you're not on that shit and people are doing that to you, it's the worst feeling in the world.
Nah, facts. Like, dang, man. Like, first of all, it's like, man, what kind of person you to do that? But then it's also like, makes you think like, damn, maybe I should have did more due diligence. So then you start questioning yourself, like
damn, maybe I should be out here fucking people. Like, hell yeah, it makes you think like that.
Yeah, so it's like, man, those are the parts of the game that I don't feel like people talk about enough because it happens often,
all the time,
and it's like, man, like people start a business, you know, hit a lick, move around, do something else. It's like, man, how come y'all keep giving these people the same opportunity, like the same chances, you know? So. But, you know, you try not to be a hater, but it's like, man, somebody need to speak up.
It sucks to see, dude. It sucks to see, but that's just reality, and it's part of life, and it's part of the game. And it's like, at the end of the day, the good thing is, like, to know that like people like I know, speaking on myself, like I know no, there's literally not one person who can be like she fucked me over or she owes me money. Not one person.
Gotcha.
And you know, to have that feeling, I'll take that and like that respect over like hitting a quick lick off of somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just it feels better to me. You know.
But we know somebody could say that you never scammed them or you owe them money.
Right.
But what is something that people don't know about you at all? Like it could be anything positive or just mindset, general.
Damn, I don't know. That's a hard question.
Because you know, like on these days, people feel like they know you because of social media, or they know because they've seen you, or they may have known you throughout your journey. But you know, we evolve so much.
I think honestly, like I'm a really nice person. Like I think
Women always say that.
No, I really am though. Like I think people just see like I'm like very like rough, and I'm always in like hoodies and leggings and like sneak. You know, just how I am now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I've been wearing like the same shit for years, dude. Yeah. Like I've been wearing like leggings for years. And I'm rough and I talk really rough. Like I'm kind of toning it down right now, but I talk very rough. Yeah. But I'm the nicest person in the world, and I will go like so above and beyond for my friends and my family, and like, you know, I think, you know, that's one of the things that I think like people don't know about me. And I really like tequila. That's another one. Shout out to tequila. Shout out to the tequila. I really like tequila. Can't even do the damn interview without drinking tequila. Man, fuck it.
I feel you. So, are you like one of these new tequila drinkers, or you been like you're OG? Like you've always been on tequila?
I think I'm OG. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm an OG. I mean, my mom is from Mexico, so I feel like I'm a OG tequila drinker. But I'm also very, very extremely socially awkward and introverted. Very, I mean, to the point like even just coming here, like that's why the first thing I was like, y'all got liquor in here, because it's like
it kind of I feel
it helps me out.
Nah, it does.
You know,
yeah. I'm like, I mean, everybody says I'm like an introverted extrovert, right? Yeah. I stay to myself, but then sometimes like I need social, to be around people to thrive. But then it's like, all right, that's enough. Yeah. Let me go back to you know what I'm saying, to myself. And I feel like there's so much going on. Like even like not being outside, you can still get social anxiety because like even online, people come at you so much, or like all like the comments, captions, or let's link up, or I'm trying to meet you, let's do a meeting. It's like, man, this is too much. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather just kind of fall back and and just pop out when I want to.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then like, man, so we started doing networking events, and they've been really successful. But I think it's easier for me to throw them because when I go to networking events, it's so hard for me to network.
Like you feel like a fish out of water?
Yeah, it's like what am I supposed to do? Then when I meet up to somebody, it's like, I feel like it's so superficial to be like, hey, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know? So it's like trying to be as organic and natural as possible, but then also understand like, but we're here, I guess, to find value from each other. So, you know, I'm learning about this whole networking thing. So like, even like our events, we try to tell people, man, just, come to try to build a community, find some new people to be around and build from there.
Yeah.
Just go from there.
Yeah, and things like that in Houston are hard because it's like so much of Houston is built off of like nightlife.
Yeah.
So people are, like for me in particular, like it's now I'm 37, so it's like I don't, I might be in the club like once a month now, if that, like maybe once, twice a month, but people who are my age, they're still in the club 2-3 times a week. So you talk to them about a networking event and they're just going to be like, man, I ain't going to no network. But that's the thing is people don't know how to move out, and especially in Houston, is people don't know how to move outside of the nightlife and find value in things like a networking event or to them, the club is the network.
I was about to ask you that. So like even like entrepreneurs, like they do a lot of like their social gathering networking in the nightlife, like at clubs, bars. Right. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, because in Dallas, like, we have a scene that's like, man, I don't really rock with the club, but I'll do, like, a social gathering, networking event, or, like, a private dinner, or even, like, a nice little bar.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing the 10 to 2.
Yeah. I think Houston is just so nightlife driven. And shout out to my homies who have really, I've really watched them, like build and, like, architect the Houston nightlife that it is today. I went to college with, the main club owners and promoters, and so we, I've been friends with them for years, and I've gotten to like watch their process and watch them grow.
Gotcha.
And they've built an empire, and it's really, really cool to see. But I'm like, damn, I'm fucking 30s. Like, I can't be in the club anymore. Like, I'm going to clubs sometimes. Like, I'll pop out finally, and it's like, motherfuckers are 21 years old.
Yeah, nah, facts.
At
least give me the 25 and up at this point now.
Got little 21, 22-year-olds trying to holler. I'm like, look, bro, like, can't do nothing with you,
I mean, you never know.
Nah, I can't do it. Not me.
You never know. But we can't get past this. You said you like tequila.
Tequila.
How do you like your tequila?
I like it straight.
Just shots.
Shots.
Okay. Just straight to the point.
Just straight to the point.
So you don't like no mix?
I mean, I might mix it.
Before.
If I've been going like way too hard, and it's like day 4, and I'm like, fuck, like I might mix it then. But yeah, my preferred way is just take it to the head.
Just give it to me.
Less calories.
That is true. That is true. Nah, for sure. That helps that ways. So when you go to like these nightlife lounges, clubs, etc., how do you kind of maneuver? Is it more so just to like catch up people you already knew, or are you actually going in there trying to look for new contacts, new businesses? Or
I promise you, every time it's because I'm going in there and I'm gonna go sit in the corner of the DJ booth with my homies that are doing the same thing, and I'm just gonna catch me a quick little 30-minute vibe, get me a quick little buzz, and I'm going home. Like, I promise you, like, you won't. You're not gonna see me at a table. You might see me at a table if like I got somebody in town, but you're not really gonna see me like at a table or like turned up like that. I'm gonna be in the cut.
You're not standing on couches.
I'm not standing on no couches. I did a lot of years of standing on couches. Yeah. You'll see me in the cut for sure.
Nah, that's what's up. Do you feel like, I guess, real business can get conducted in the club?
Yeah, 1,000%. I feel like even strip clubs, I conduct a lot of business in strip clubs as a woman. Yes, most definitely. That's always, to be honest, that's always like when somebody's in town, like, let's go to the strip club. That's always like my first go-to is like the club or the strip club, because I feel like it's a little bit more like genuine and authentic. Gotcha. And you're not sitting like across from somebody at a table and like, oh well, all stiff. And I definitely feel like business can be some of the best relationships are formed in clubs and strip clubs for sure.
That actually makes good sense, because I feel like if it is more structured, it's more like A B back and forth, and it's like, man, like, it doesn't have to be so intense. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? What do you want? This is what I want, and then we can spend our time having a good time and meeting in the middle somewhere. And by the end of the night, we both feel good. Yeah,
but it's like I said, for me, it's like I'm also 37 years old, so it's like, at what point does like the club shit end? But then I'm seeing motherfuckers who are in their 50s and they're still outside. So I'm just like,
times have changed.
Times have changed, dude.
I don't know what it looks like anymore, to where it's like you're too old to be in the club. I don't know if there's even.
I don't know what it looks like anymore either, to be honest.
Because I mean, my parents were my age in their 30s. I ain't seen them in no club, and if I did, it was like an old club, but like, I go to the club, I'm with the youngsters. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's just how everything is right now. And everything is section based. So
everything is section based.
So it's not even like the same, because back then you go to the club, you're really in the trenches trying to meet people. Now it's like you go with people you already know. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And even just like going back to that, I'm probably... Shout out OG Kim if you really like are from the city and know the city. Like, me and Kim were probably the very first bottle girls ever in Houston. Like, this is when like All-Star Weekend, like the first All-Star Weekend we had, and like I actually was some clubs down here, Mercury Room, Boca Bar. We used to have all the celebrities come through. I mean, everybody. I've waited on like Cedric the Entertainer, and I've waited on Michael Jordan and stuff like that. And I think we were like the very first. And that was like maybe 1 or 2 clubs that had bottle service. And that's when the celebrities were like really sitting in the back and, getting bottle service. And now it's like, it's evolved into like, it's a show off sport. It is. Back then it was really like, we're ordering in the back, privacy, it's not like that. It's the exact opposite now.
That's a good point. So which do you think was making more money for the business? The point when it wasn't sections, or now that it's
sections for sure. Sections most for sure. 1,000. Yeah, the section pricing is crazy. Plus you have the regular admission still, plus the regular drinks. But now it's like, now you're selling, you know, there are nights where these sections are going for, depending on who's coming in, $10,000 a table in Houston. It's crazy, you know?
I'm trying to think of that as an investment. $10,000 plus, and that's still plus.
That includes the liquor. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's going to include your liquor, but
probably not your gratuity. You still got to pay gratuities, right?
I don't. Yeah, it depends on the club or how it's included, but it's like a $10,000 minimum. Like, got to spend at least $10,000 for this particular section on this particular night with this person coming in.
Yeah, that's way too much.
Yeah, I think the starting. What is it now? Starting is like $1,500, $2,000 starting. I think
exactly.
that's
and that's probably. I think bottles now $350, $400.
Mm-hmm. Multiply that times, what, 10 tables in the club?
Yeah. Oh, they making a killing.
Yeah, you're making a killing.
They're making a killing. And, you know, negotiations as far as bar percentages. So they're probably getting a high percent. Yeah. They're making I might get into promotion.
Yeah. Some money. It's especially in Houston. It's a lick, for sure.
Nah, for sure. So you talked about being like the OG original bottle girls in Houston, right? Uh-huh. So there's like a conversation around this, right? Do you, like, where did you go from there? Like, right? Like, because sometimes, you know how the world is, they may look at you only as, oh, just a bottle girl, right? How are you able to maneuver that into real relationships, into actual, like, you know, conducting business? Because people may only see girls at one point. Oh, yeah, that's, you know, she just does bottles. She just does bottles, you know? Like.
I mean, back then we weren't, and not to say, like, a woman's dress. I mean, a woman's dress obviously, like, does affect how she's perceived, whether people admit it or not, it does. But at the end of the day, it's like, back then we were wearing, like, a t-shirt with jeans. That was like, now it wasn't like we had our ass and titties out.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, back then that wasn't even like a thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a big thing.
That's just what it is now. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, the girls out here, they're gorgeous and they look great. And you'll never ever hear me talk down on a woman's sexuality, none of that. But it just comes down to like how you carry yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Essentially.
Yeah, essentially it comes down to that. And man, it's like I always say, just be a good person, dude. Like, I don't care if you're out here hoeing. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you're doing. Just be a nice person and just, you know, be kind. Yeah. It's easy to just be kind to people and not shit on other people for what they do, or, you know.
Yeah.
Simple.
Basic rules of life.
Basic rules of life. But you'd be surprised not a lot of people follow those rules in life. So.
Man, a lot of people don't even follow. It's crazy where we live in now. But I mean, it has not those aspects, but you know, the way the world evolves and changes, there's so many more benefits now, because now there's so many ways to make money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, less people have morals now.
Yeah.
But if you find your little niche, your little pocket, man, there's so many ways to get ahead in this world now, opposed to 10 years ago or 15.
Yeah.
I think I started maybe like 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm getting old.
We're getting old, dude. I'm telling you.
We're getting wiser.
Yeah, we're getting wiser.
We're getting wiser. But I got gray hairs.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy out here.
Yeah, I feel you.
But what do you listen to, like, going out? Because since you have artists, I mean, do you ever feel like you should always be listening to them?
I mean, I listen to them a lot. It's like, it's funny because it's like I always tell people, like, by the time a song comes out,
oh, you done heard it.
You done heard that song. You done heard it so many times that it's like you really don't want to listen to it. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, by the time I have a song come out under my label, like, I'm tired of hearing the shit. You know what I mean? Like, you've probably heard it at least 100 times by the time it's finally distributed. But I listen to a lot of corridos. Obviously, that's like I work in Música Mexicana, so I listen to a lot of that. I listen to a lot of Afro beats.
Okay.
And it's funny because back in the day, like, I remember, like, when the Nigerians in Houston first would start going out and, like, you know, paying to, like, listen to, like, African, they would pay the DJs to play African music. And I remember it would be, like, low-key, like, embarrassing, because if you're, like, a white girl and you're around Africans listening to African music, it looks like you're a prostitute. You know, that's the that's the real, like, you know what I'm saying? So it looks like you're getting paid to be with these African dudes, and, like, everybody knows, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you know the nightlife in Houston, like, you know what's really going on with shit like that. Yeah. But now it's like you hear Afro beats and African music in the clubs. All, like, it's cool. Yeah. Like, it's cool now because the music is so good. Yeah. Like, you cannot deny the music anymore.
Nah, for sure.
So I really, like, listen to a lot of Afro beats now. Música, still, obviously, I listen to rap. Hip hop's always been my first love. The very, very, very first tape I can ever remember listening to was Tupac and Scarface. That's the first tape we ever had that I remember listening to. And we had Two Short Cocktails, my older brother. So I know Two Short Cocktails word for word. Since I was like fucking 8, 9 years old.
Man, the first tape I ever had was, I think, Mace Harlem World.
Oh shit! Really? Okay.
Yeah, that was the first tape I ever had.
Yeah.
And I just went down like a rabbit hole with the whole Bad Boys, and then I found DMX.
Yeah.
I went crazy with DMX, but
yeah,
I remember listening to the radio, recording a song on the tape, and then going back and like writing the lyrics, rewind, write lyrics.
That's how we learned the lyrics.
That's how. It wasn't no what is it called now? Genius or A to the Z lyrics.
Yeah, wasn't none of that. You used to have to play that shit over, rewind, stop, write it down and memorize it like that. And by the time you were done doing that, you already knew the song. So.
It's great. Music has evolved so much. The music business has evolved so much. Then there's artists who are paving the ways, like La Russell. You heard La Russell? Like,
of course, I love La Russell.
Yeah, talking about all these new strategies, ownership. Somebody like you who has a label, but also like I feel or believe is really like so artist first, artist centric first. How do you find that balance with the music business to make sure like it's mutually beneficial? Like, of course, artists are going to feel like they want the best deal, but at the same point, they have to understand that as labels, you're investing in them, so you have to get a return as well. So, like, how do you kind of manage that in between of putting artists first, but also making sure that you get what you deserve?
I'm always very upfront. My paperwork is one thing about me that I very much pride myself on is my paperwork is A1. It's seen a law office multiple times to make sure that it's done properly. I've also seen, other labels contract work and have, structured mine as to what I feel is best for that artist and best for me. And it's not standard. Like, you can't have one standard contract for each artist. Like, it has to make sense for you both. And those conversations are always up front. And I feel like sometimes also you might get to a point with an artist where, like, those terms need to be restructured and renegotiated. And I'm okay with that because at the end of the day, when that artist wins, I win. So for me to be greedy, it's like, it doesn't make sense for me to be greedy. It's like I said, I'm in this shit because I love it, not because I'm here to hit a lick. And I think importantly, like, I think there's like so many people who work in music just to have the proximity to like clout or to like fame or money. And it's like, it's for me, like, I'm not trying to be like humble or like real. I mean, it's just it's never been about that to me.
Gotcha.
Because if it was about that, I would have been out a long time ago, but you have to like really, really love the shit. And I very much pride myself on doing good business, having the paperwork there. And I think my relationships like speak for themselves when it comes to that. And I pride myself on that for sure.
And when an artist comes to you, should they have everything already like put together, or like do you kind of have what that meaning? Like, they may be a new artist, they may not be signed up or with like a ASCAP or not even know what DistroKid is. Like, do you kind of help them with that? Or better if let's do this. Like, I'm a new artist, I'm coming to you. Like, what would you tell them? Like 3 things you need to do before you even think about working with someone?
Man, it just depends on the artist. Both the artists I have now, I heard one song that they had dropped. I think they had one song.
Okay. And
I was like, damn, these songs are really, really, really good. And my first artist that I signed, Diamante, he actually has like been on the cover of like Spotify's like emerging new artists. Like, yeah, like, he's the first ever headline a Música Mexicana showcase at South by Southwest. So it's like, it's like every artist is different. But I think every artist is just different. There's not one standard for each one. But if I see potential in you and I see that we are able to work together, then I'm down to do whatever makes sense to move.
Gotcha. Nah, that's real.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this before we get out of here. Music business is tough. Business in general is tough.
It's hard.
But what advice would you give to like, that next young woman or next young Latino who wants to get into the music industry, but maybe facing some of the challenges that you faced when you first started? Like, what would you tell her to, motivate her to keep going and to, to fully pursue it and don't worry about the haters?
That's actually a good question. And I'm glad that you asked that because I feel like, like I was telling you earlier, like I really don't like fuck with like the interviews and like I don't really care for them. And that's really like why, if I do an interview, it's like that's really why it's like I want women, especially Latina women, to know that you can fulfill your dreams, and you really can be a boss in this shit, and you can create a path for yourself. But I think my only advice is really just do good business. And like I said earlier, just be a good person. And it's going to be so many people who fuck you, especially as a woman. Like, so many people who fuck you over, try to fuck you over. But it's like, man, when people see that you really can stand on your own too, it's worth every L that you've ever taken. And I mean, that's really just my word of advice. Like, just be a good person and stand strong, and don't be out here smashing everybody. Don't be smashing these artists, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's I said, situationships happen, you know, slip-ups happen, whatever. But you really just got to conduct yourself professionally, and people will treat you professionally.
But would you say it's like a double standard because men do it?
Men do it, yeah, of course. But it's like, unfortunately, like that's
hold yourself to high regard.
As a female executive in this business, like that's just the reality of it, you know, and it sucks. But and that's not to say women executives aren't out here doing that, because I do see it, and it's like, you know, to each his own. Whatever you want to do, and man. I had a homegirl. She was like, I don't care. She was talking about like you know, bitches who are hoes. She was like, shit, that's not my pussy. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what you doing with it. That shit don't got nothing to do with me. So I've always just kind of maintained whatever you're doing has nothing to do with me.
Nah, that's right.
Yeah. But just, you know, there's definitely room for more Latinas, and we need it. We need more Latinas in this business. We need more women entrepreneurs. Some of the biggest in this game have an all-female team. And I think that might, for me, motivates me to go bigger.
I've been seeing that a lot lately. So because you said, I want to give an opportunity to shout out like some other amazing Latinas in the music industry based out of Miami. You heard of the Flow Lab?
I have not. Put me on. Put me down.
I'll definitely put you on.
Okay.
So one of my good friends is their publicist, helps with their brand partnerships, Raquel.
Okay.
She's Puerto Rican. There's another girl. Her name is Esmila. She's, I want to say, Dominican. She was based in Dallas too, but moved to Miami. She does like their social media PR. So one of the artists is Leslie Hernandez.
Okay.
She started off like acting, did skits. Then she got into music. She was actually in Romeo's new video, Santos' new video. Yeah. So she has her own single out, and her team is all women, all Latinas.
Love to see it.
And they're killing it. So I love to see it too.
Yeah.
So shout out to them. Shout out to you, of course.
Thank you.
Love to see y'all doing y'all thing. And you know, we're not gonna be funny over here. So if you're watching this interview, we don't do no funny business.
We ain't do no funny business.
Man, stop being weird, man. You're making us look bad out here.
Don't do no weird shit. We don't do with the weird shit.
Don't do no weird shit.
Yeah.
So salute to y'all.
Thank you.
I'm gonna take this last little sip before this, and then that's good.
To the head.
So last but not least, do you have a quote that you live by?
A quote that I live by? Damn. I don't think so. I think I'll be, it's actually, to thine own self be true. I got two. I'm lying. They're tattooed on me.
See, I knew it was coming.
To thine own self be true.
Okay.
Shout out Dead Poet Society, one of the greatest movies ever. R.I.P. Robin Williams. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And I've always lived by, just live by truth, and you'll be good. So those are the two, yeah.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
Now I got to go watch Dead Poet Society.
It's great movie.
All right.
Classic.
Thanks for the recommendation.
For sure.
All right, y'all, please make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I don't care, but just go ahead and do it, please. Follow YaYa in the City on Instagram. Support everything she's doing. If you have any questions for her, hopefully just leave them in the comments. Maybe she'll pull up and answer something for you. I'll let her know. Maybe. I don't know. But y'all take it easy. Until next time, we appreciate it.